What I've realized is that growth without intention just leads to overwhelm. We all have to be intentional. We have to be intentional with our time and our energy and those we're around, those rooms we choose to step into, those who we get coaching from, how we spend our money, all these things. Well, that's an excerpt from this episode where I dive in and talk about being intentional and being intentional in 2026, what that means for you and what that means for me. I also dive in and talk about the power of choosing a word for the year and why I do it and how it will help you too. So let's step forward. Before we dive into the episode, I want to take a moment and thank Riverside for sponsoring this podcast. Riverside is a platform for recording high-quality studio-level podcasts and videos, offering AI-powered editing tools and enabling easy content creation for creators, marketers, and businesses. To learn more about Riverside, go to riverside.com. Okay, grab your coffee and listen in. Hello, Redlo women. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you today? I'm so grateful you're here. I'm your host, Terry Mullen, and I'm here to offer a little bit of inspiration in your day and to empower you and to help you reclaim your confidence, embrace your voice, define your path, lead with courage, and own who you are now in this season of life. So grab that warm cup of coffee and let's step forward together. Let's go. Well, happy 2026. Wow. This first week of January has really felt like a fresh start of energy. And I think because of the way Christmas and New Year's fell this year, both on a Thursday, towards the end of the week, this break felt longer. It lingered. And honestly, I loved every moment of it. How about you? I really took time to rest and have some fun, and I just slowed down, had some coffee by the fire, took long walks, just did all kinds of wonderful things. And I hope you did too. Hope you spent time with family and allowed yourself just to rekindle and feel restored. So here we are. Each year, I choose a word or a phrase as a theme for my year. And it's very intentional. I start out every year with this. I take time to really pay attention, and I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore. I stopped them long ago. Every year I talk about this. I have lots of goals, but I don't do those resolutions because what I found with myself and what the data actually shows is that resolutions just really aren't sustainable for most people. We all have the very best of intentions, but those resolutions often just turn into this really long laundry list of shoulds, or we just keep writing these list of goals, but we don't really have a strategy or a plan of action and no real realistic way to sustain that change or that transformation. In fact, actually, the second Friday of January has literally been coined Quitter's Day. And the reason is because 23% of people actually quit those resolutions that they set out and wrote down in that very first week. And by the end of January, up to 64% of people actually give up on those resolutions. So long term, only about 10% actually ever achieve those goals. And then only 6 to 9% actually maintain those goals throughout the year. So they can be really overwhelming, right? They're not always measurable. They're not always those SMART goals, right? And for me, I think it's important to be flexible, to set short term and, of course, some long term goals. But I think it's really important to have an intention for the year. And for me, by that, I mean a roadmap or a compass or kind of a foundational word that guides you throughout your year. And for me, that's what I do. It just kind of, like I said, is that compass and that foundation and that roadmap for how I lead my life and how I lead my business and make decisions. And I always take it back to that particular word. So, and it can change. I tell everybody, you don't have to engrave this in stone. And I'll share a little bit about how I arrive at this word, but be flexible, be open, and just pay attention to how your body feels. So last year, my word was elevate. And this year, my word is intention. And I'm so excited about that word. It just lights me up. So when I'm making a decision on my word, if you've ever done this, like I just let it come to me. I don't force it. And then if I get kind of what I say, a download or a drop in for a word, or, God just whispers a word in my spirit, I sit with it. I give it space. And I know when it feels right. And you will too. My whole body just knows it. right? I've had a couple other words that have kind of filtered in, but they felt forced. And when that happens, I know that that's not the right word. And then all of a sudden, this word will just land in my soul, in my spirit. I say like a ton of gold, and I just yell, yes, that's it. And that's what happened with intention. It just comes to me. And often it's when I'm doing mindless work, like if I'm on a walk or exercising or cooking or just something random. So, anyway, I hope you have a word. It's fun. You don't have to be, really black and white with it. You can have more than one word. You can actually have a phrase and you can change it, if you want to. So be flexible, be kind to yourself, but choose something that is that roadmap for you, that is calling you forward, that is guiding you forward. I want to focus on the word intention because it's not only intention for me, it's for you too, and those that I lead and guide. And I love this word. I love what it means. My goal is to be really intentional in all I do with my time, my business, those I love. And this past year, in 2025, my business grew significantly. That was exciting. And a lot of it had to do with the rooms that I chose to step into, the coaching that I got, my mindset after doing it all these years and getting really, really clear. And towards the end of the year, I started being really, really intentional with my time and different things. And so that's probably even how I arrived at this. But what I've realized is that growth without intention just leads to overwhelm. We all have to be intentional. We have to be intentional with our time and our energy and those we're around, those rooms we choose to step into, those who we get coaching from, how we spend our money, all these things. I think a quality life requires one of intention, and that includes setting boundaries and saying no, right? I've had my years of saying yes, lots of yeses, and this is going to be the year of no. So I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you permission to do this too. So I've decided to be very intentional, like I said, about my time, my energy, those I spend time with, where and how I show up, on which platforms, how I lead and how I teach. And it's been huge for me to come to this place. And it's also really exciting. So, in this age of so much information, there's so many tools, there's so many different platforms, and it's so easy to get so distracted as you're stepping forward. If you're launching a business, if you are in this online space, it's so easy to get overwhelmed, right? And I've learned that the secret is not being perfect, not finding the perfect platform, not comparing to everybody else. It's what works for you and what aligns with who you are, who you serve, and how you do it. And actually, on Friday, you're going to hear an interview that I did with my daughter. It's probably another one of my very favorite podcast interviews I've done. I learned so much from her. She's just amazing. And we talked a little bit about this, that there's not a lot of magic in the platform you choose. The best platform is the one that works for you and the one that you actually use and show up on and grow in. So, there you go. All right. So, what is being intentional? For me, it's quiet strength. It's being anchored and grounded and steadfast. It's quietly powerful. It's rooted and rising. It's calm and clear and committed and connected to self and to others in a very deep way. And it's strength without noise. Yes, without all the noise. And that's something I'm really going to focus on this year. It is saying no, like I said. And I want to encourage you to say no, to be intentional, to set boundaries, and to be really clear on where you're headed. And sometimes it just takes a while, but it's really good to have this reminder. So I will be very intentional this year with number one in my business. And you've heard me talk a lot about this top of funnel, right? And that is how you greet people, meet people, how people discover you. It's that first introduction. And often we do that on platforms where we enjoy being on, whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube, or if you like all the reels and or all the TikToks or whatever, wherever your platform is, it's showing up where you like to live. And for me, that's always been the podcast. So I love podcasts. I love listening to them. I learn so much. My mind is it's freeing. It's not stressful. I listen to them on my walks and when I'm in my car and driving to Los Angeles, my longer drives. It's just all the things. And I learn a lot from people and I enjoy them. And I like listening to podcasts that just lift me up and from people that also ground me. So, anyway, podcasting is my top of funnel. That's how you get to know me. And on top of it, more than anything, the thing I love about podcasts is that you can go deep. This is where I found my voice. It's allowed me to share who I am and to express myself and to tell you my thoughts and where I've been and my mistakes and my hard things and also the things that I'm celebrating. But it's not just a quick conversation. It allows me to go deeper, and that's just my personality. I don't float around the surface very well. If I meet you, I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know where you've been and what got you to where you are and what makes you you, all the things, and in a warm way. It's why I love doing interviews with people on the podcast too, because I love learning about people. I think we can all learn so much from one another when we slow down long enough to listen. So, this is why I love doing this podcast. And all that to say that this is my starting point each week. I start here. I have, a topic that I share, and then I repurpose this into other things. This turns into a post or a newsletter or, other short videos. And it's just been a really, really great way for me to get really clear and have a plan each week and each month. I have topics that I talk about, and then I break those up into smaller pieces that are more digestible as well. So I record everything here on Riverside, which I love. Woohoo! Big shout out to Riverside. They now sponsor this podcast. But it's been one of my favorite tools. And I've been all in on this platform in 2025. I had used it on and off, but then I went all in this year because of all the features that they offer, all the tools, their community, their customer service, their integration with AI, and the ability to be able to do video and audio. So it's been one of my favorite things, and I love it so much. So, number two, I am going to be very intentional with my community. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have been growing my Redlo Women's Circle. So, if you're not familiar, Redlo is older spelled backwards. This is a space for midlife women who are aspiring entrepreneurs or already are likely in kind of those early stages and just need some support. And Redlo is also an acronym now that means to reclaim your confidence, embrace your voice, define your path, lead with courage, and own who you are now in this season of life. And that's my mission, to help you evolve and grow and become more of who you are. I see this need for people to feel connected. And I've seen it in my own life. I've seen that need that I've wanted to really connect deeper with those that are leading me or those that are coaching me. And I'm seeing it with the women that I lead as well. So I say community is the currency of 2026. These live teaching communities where members actually have access to the person that's leading and can do live Zoom call, can ask questions and have real conversation is where the depth is and where the growth is. And because I've been plugged into a community like that, my growth has been exponential. So I want that for you too. If you're craving that kind of support, my Redlo Women's Circle will open up again on January 15th. I'm starting a new cohort. I would love to have you. Like I said, it is a private and paid community for midlife female entrepreneurs who want to grow their online business and need some guidance and support from me and from others in the community, and also to do some networking. And I will also have some guest speakers. We're going to meet once a month for 90 minutes. I have a private community where we can ask questions. I'm getting off Facebook in that way. It will not be a Facebook group. It's very intentional where I will host my trainings and you'll have access to the tools that I'm using in real time. Number three, I'm going to be very intentional with AI. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I love AI. And AI is here to stay. It's a powerful tool. It is in everything you use, whether you realize it or not. It's in all the applications that we have, like Canva, just like all the things, right? It's in everything. And now these tools are speaking to one another. I actually just helped a client this week connect ChatGPT to her Canva. So ChatGPT came up with an idea actually because of the image integration that Chat's doing now. It was really powerful. She just hates spending all this time doing all these graphic things. So it created 5 different images and then downloaded them into her Canva. We connected them. And so she was able to choose which one she wanted and able to edit. So super, super, super cool. So the secret to this is learning to use AI as a tool, right? Allowing it to save you that time, to strategize, and to support you in your business. It is not your therapist and it's not your best friend. And I think so many people get caught up in that. It's your business assistant and your marketer and to help you really strategize. So I have different AI tools that I use for different things and ones that you're probably really familiar with. ChatGPT is just awesome for strategy and for creative thinking. It's also, as you see now, really, really great with images. And I've been having some fun playing around with it. And, think of it what you want. I think it's amazing. It's just a really, really great tool. The negative with chat is that it still hallucinates. It's probably one of the least accurate when it comes to data. So you always have to fact check. And it also speaks just really positively to you. And if you realize it kind of speaks back to you, it kind of mirrors back your own thoughts. So you have to tell it to not to do that too, because it just always is very encouraging and inspiring. And that's wonderful, but it's also not great sometimes. I love Claude for copy and for clean writing. And to be honest, I've fought this for such a long time. But if you've been following me, you know that I make so many freaking typos. It's annoying. It's just annoying. And I think it's just because my brain gets ahead of so much I'm doing. And I think I see things one way, but I don't. I miss them. And I just make these dumb typos or I go back and correct it, even when I've already corrected it. So Claude really keeps my punctuation correct. It keeps my typos correct and helps just sometimes structure my sentences. And what I love about it more than anything is that it keeps your brand voice. It does not change your writing the way ChatGPT does. It actually acts like a teacher, like an English teacher. It just corrects things and tells you to do this, this, and this differently. So I love that. And I think that's the best way to describe it. I think it's your best English teacher. Gemini is awesome for more fact-based information. I even heard Jenna Kutcher recently refer to Gemini as a tool for researching financial data and tracking all that, which I thought was really fascinating. I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but it's definitely more fact-based and it's much more logical and doesn't make the same mistakes that ChatGPT does on its information. It's much more clear. I always do Gemini if I'm having problems with something, like a tech issue or anything like that. So it is definitely great for that. And then I use Perplexity for research. Always, always, always. It's really fabulous because it goes in almost like an AI agent and extracts data from the internet, from other social media. And I also think from other AI things now. So that's a whole other topic we're going to talk about. That GEO, we're going to talk about that in an episode this month. But I use Perplexity always to back up my data and when I'm doing preparation for the podcast and I'm researching it. So hope that helps you. Those are the tools I'm using. And I've also upgraded to Plus here on ChatGPT. That's been another one of my favorite things that I've done this year. And if you're in that place, I highly recommend it. It just is a little bit more expansive and allows you to do a little bit more. And like I said, even crossing over to these other applications. And it's here, you guys. Stop fighting it. We don't live in that much of a secret world. You know, everything speaks to each other. We just bought an HP printer, a new printer. We'd had our printer forever and ever, and we needed a new one. And I set it all up through my phone. It already knew my Wi Fi connection and everything. So it's crazy. It's just where we are. So I also have some other tools that I've learned recently, and I will be sharing those inside my Redlo Women's Circle, which will be starting on January 15th. So come join me. Come give it a try. I'd love to have you. I'll put that link here too, just so you have it and you can click on it and see who I am and what I'm about. The fourth thing I'm being intentional with is my coaching. I have really, really niched down and been really clear. I'm always about empowering women, empowering midlife women, helping you find your voice. But more than anything, I help midlife women who want to launch and grow an online business, especially a coaching one. And I use other tools. If you want a podcast, I teach that. That's obviously something I absolutely love to do. I do teach that, but I really am focused on helping you launch and grow your online business and just giving you all the strategies and tools you need to do it simply. And I do this in real time. I'm learning too. I've been doing this a long time now, but I'm always growing. I'm always learning. I am an incredible problem solver and I'm learning right along with you always. And if you haven't heard me mention it a lot. I talk about this all the time that midlife women are the fastest growing age demographic in entrepreneurship. And my goal is to empower you and to guide you and help you step forward into that. Take your experience, whether that's personally or professionally, and step forward and launch that business. Whether that's a coaching business or something else, you are qualified to do that. And I share the mistakes I've made along the way and what's working right now in real time and empower you to go after your dream. We're living longer. So, what are you going to do with this next season of your life? Right? We have changed so much from those years when we had everybody home to where we are now. And it's a great opportunity for us to take time for ourselves and pursue those things that we've always wanted to do. And the world needs wise voices. I hope that encourages you. Okay, moving on. Number 5, I am going to be very intentional with my relationships and my family. I'm always very intentional with my family. I communicate with my kids on a very, very regular basis. We have a family chat, but I say usually it's on the daily. Some of my kids will check in each week, but there's always somebody commenting on something on the daily. But this year, thanks to the coach that's coaching me too, I pulled out my calendar and I've scheduled all my big rocks, those important dates, time with my family. We actually do a new tradition called Thanksmas. We have 2 kids that are married, so our family traditions have really changed, and our kids have in-laws. So we now do this combination of Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I say, think of Thanksgiving with a little bit of twist of Christmas, and it's so much fun. We get this wonderful concentrated time together, and we just have a great time. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But one of the things I've learned in this season of life is that we have to adapt, We have to give our kids wings to fly, allow them to go find their dreams and goals in life and how they want to live. And they only have so much time too. How are they going to spend it? Time with their family and then time together. So we are adapting and learning for ways to connect with our family and our kids in different ways. And I want to encourage you to if you're in that place. But it's important, right? It's important to make those adjustments and to find different ways. And now this year, I'm going to take time with my girls, do some time away with them. So we're just finding different ways to connect. All that to say, I want to empower you to be intentional. Be intentional with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, how you're going to step forward with this season of life. Start that business. Don't be afraid. Just find people to help you. I'm here for you. I'd love to have you come on board and join the Redlo Women's Circle. There's going to be some wonderful women in that, and we are going to grow together. So here we are. This is season 4 and episode 170, and I'm so proud to be here with this podcast, to see the growth as I look back on my year and the growth that I've had. Every year I do this exercise where I look back. Dan Sullivan, who is a coach that my husband coached with for a long time, talks about standing in the gap, where you look back at where you were to where you are now. Because often, as those that are strivers and achievers and goal setters and very driven, we just keep going. We forget to stop and pause and look back at how far we've come. And it's a really important exercise. I've heard other people say, get your phone and look back at your year and see what the year looked like. And I kind of did that on the podcast. I went back and went through these different episodes to see what I was talking about. And it's just really fun to see the growth and take that time to celebrate where you've been and where you are now. I think Dan Sullivan also calls it the gain. He calls it the gap and the gain, so that you can really see that growth and what you've learned and what you will do differently, right? So I encourage you to do that too. I think it's really, really important to look back and to evaluate and see what worked, what didn't work, what will you do differently. And you don't have to make it hard and stressful. Just keep it simple. But use that also as a path forward to be intentional and strategic in this new year in 2026. So my goal for me is to be anchored in intention with my calendar, my business, my community, my clients, and my family. And it's also my goal to lead with intention, with less noise, a lot more depth, a lot more simplicity, to be very aligned and strategic, and to help you do the same. So I have felt this calling to not only continue to evolve myself, but to help you evolve as well, and to celebrate who we are. and who we're becoming. I'm grateful you've been here throughout the years. Thank you for showing up and being a part of this podcast. I hope you've learned some things along the way. And be sure to listen in to my podcast on Friday. It'll be with my daughter. It's another really awesome episode. And if you didn't listen to the podcast with Steph Wagner, I highly encourage you to do that too. It will empower you and to help you take control of your life and your finances. She has a really powerful story, just a brilliant woman. She also wrote a book called Fly, which I shared. So those are just a few things. I just want to encourage you. I'll also put the link here for the Redlo Women's Circle. I'd love to have you come join me. All right, keep stepping forward. Know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. Until we meet again, God bless. Happy 2026. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have a few key takeaways that you can apply to your life. And if you don't mind, take a few moments and leave a review that lets other women know that we're here making a difference in your life and theirs as well. Until we meet again, God bless.